All right. Hello to anyone viewing this video. My name is Samir Sarma. This is being recorded in December 2021, and this is the first video of a two-part series introducing how to use the TJ Sheets software. TJ Sheets is an electronic score sheet / tournament direction system that creates a bunch of electronic score sheets. It allows for easy stats and easy stat exports. It allows everything to be done in one Google Drive. So this year, the year that I'm recording this, we're going to be using it for Eagle's Nest, which is a tournament in January. So I'm hoping that this can also be used for future years, but yeah. So this video is going to be about tournament direction, like setting up the tournament. And then I'm going to make another video about how to actually score keep. So what I have right here in front of me is just a simple Google Drive folder, fake Eagle's Nest, with a copy of the shared template control. This should actually not be there. Actually, it's this one. This is the copy of the shared template control. This is actually going to be your control sheet that you're going to use. So let me rename this to like fake Eagle's Nest control. And then I have a copy of a shared template score sheet. This is not actually going to be used for anything. The only thing this is used for is to get this ID right here between, you'll notice it's between like the D/ and then it's between edit. It's this string right here. Just copy that and place it right here in box C3. This the control sheet needs this template score sheet ID to actually create the score sheets, but that's the only thing this is used for. And then the other thing I have in front of me is HD White's Quiz Bowl schedule generator. So as I said before, this is based on a tournament called Eagle's Nest, which is a 16-team tournament that's run on Scott Novice. And you can see I've selected the format that says 2 brackets of 8 into 4 playoff brackets of 4, which leads to 9 rounds, 7 in prelims, 2 in playoffs, and then any potential finals. Actually, here we go. Oops, I forgot to fill out the playoff names. Hold on. Let's put Dickinson. Let's put Baldwin, and let's put like O. Henry. But yeah, so this website is basically what you probably should be using for like generating a tournament schedule. And we'll get back to why this is important. It's important to know what general format your tournament is going to have. Anyways, so the very first thing you should do is put the template score sheet ID in right here. And then the second thing is to start filling out the tournament info as it says. So let's go to the tournament page right here. Let's put in fake Eagle's Nest. And let's say we're using Scop Novice 11. So rounds, it's better to overestimate the number of rounds you're going to have than underestimate the number of rounds, which is why it's important to know generally what type of format you're going to want. The tournament will require a minimum of 11 packets because I selected that we might have an advantaged finals. So there are going to be 7 rounds in prelim, then 2 in playoffs because of crossovers. And then say if the top 2 teams are like 9-0 and 8-1, you'd have an advantaged final, which has 2 more rounds on top of that. So that's why I'm going to put 11 rounds right here. And then also just to quickly take care of the brackets, I guess we can do that now. We're going to put prelims for 1 through 8. We're going to put playoffs as prelims as 1 through 7, sorry. Playoffs as 8 through 9, and finals as 10 through 11. You need to have it in this like parentheses format, otherwise it won't go through. Jumping back over to point values, powers are going to be worth 15 points. I'm going to do normal is 10, neg is -5. We're not going to do bonuses, and we're not going to do bounce backs. Bounce backs are a thing in some states where if a team gets a bonus and a part of that bonus goes dead, it bounces back to the other team. But in Minnesota, we don't do bounce back tournaments, so we're going to leave that unchecked. And then we also need to enter the room names. In here, I just put like room 101, 102, 103, 104. Yeah, this is just for demonstrations purposes. Obviously, your tournament is going to be a little bit more varied than that, but you know, let's put that in. 102. Seven and room 108. Okay, so we have a tournament set up. We have our room names. Next, what we need to do is we need to ensure that the sheets over here match up with, we need to basically fill out those sheets. So we need one sheet for each phase that you're planning on having. So one for prelims, one for playoffs, and one for finals. All right, then once that is done, you can click tournament, create, and then click score sheets. Now you're probably going to get this authorization required if it's the first time you're doing this. So what you need to do is you need to click sign in. It's going to initially tell you it doesn't want to, but then you click advanced and you go to control script. You click allow. Then you do it again, create score sheets. Click continue. And now it is actually in the process of creating all of the score sheets and all of the rooms that you need. So just let it do its thing. I guess I should put a little disclaimer in here. I am not a pro at TJ Sheets. I've just sort of figured it out for the purposes of using it for Eagle's Nest. If you catch any mistakes in this video, let me know. And I'm probably going to post this on YouTube, so I'm going to put like a correction thing in the comments below. But yeah, this is just from what I've figured out from my testing. I'm pretty sure most of the information here is going to be correct, but I might be a bit wrong. So if you find out I'm wrong, please do correct me. Either if you meet me in person or like correct me virtually if you're watching this in the future. I think there's one more thing after this. Mm-hmm. Okay, here we go. So now if we refresh this, you will see we have a new folder called Fake Eagles Nest Scoring. And this will contain all of the score sheets associated with the tournament. And if we just go into like room 101, you'll see 11 rounds at the bottom. If it will load, yeah, you can see it goes all the way to 11. And we'll talk about actually keeping score in the next video, in the video meant for scorekeepers. But for now, let's go back to the control sheet. Because what we need to do is we need to fill in the rosters. It's pretty simple. You just put the team name up in this row and then put their players below. So I guess I'll put an EPA because I think in here I put like EPA. And why is that A? EPB, EPC. I think for demonstration purposes, I could get away with just like entering a few and it won't like it'll still happen, but I'm just not going to take my chances. I don't want to break anything, so I'm just going to put in all of the teams. A, YZ B, YZ C, YZ D. And I am just going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 for the rosters. Something I will note, and I'm going to talk about this a bit more in the score sheet, the scorekeeping video in this series. Actually, I think this will go easier if I just put like one player in each. But this is a live roster count. Like it will, if you during the tournament someone shows up late and they need to be placed on team, you can just place them here and it'll take a minute to update, but then in the score sheet you will be able to select that person. So this is like not set in stone. That's why we did it after creating the score sheets, because this is like live updated, if that makes sense. Okay, now that we've sort of filled in all the teams, we need to go back to those phase sheets we made earlier. And let's just do prelims for now, because we don't know what playoffs are going to look like. But we need to fill in the brackets. So the way you do that is you type in the name of the bracket up here, Poe, yeah, and Hughes. And then you just type in the name exactly as it appears in the roster sheet. It gets very finicky if you don't do it exactly right, and sometimes you have to mess with it. But G is supposed to go above. I guess it doesn't matter, but why is that a B? EPG. And here is YZH. Okay. And yeah, so the reason you want to get these all right is so that when you export the stats, which I'll talk about in a bit, it doesn't, like, in order to export the stats, you need these phase sheets here to be very correct. So yeah. I'm also gonna briefly talk about the other tabs. This is for category stats, which I am just not going to get into. We're not doing category stats for TJ sheets. So here is the tab for monitoring the progress of a room. So if, say, room 101 begins scorekeeping, this will show a little thing that's like green for still in progress, and it'll show like the score and the progress of that round. And you can click this plus sign here, and it'll show a bit more information. Packet, this it also has to do with category stats. We are going to delete that. And categories, we can also delete that. And playoffs and finals, you would do a similar situation to what we just did with prelims. Okay, I think that's all I have to go over, except for exporting to SQBS. To actually export, you need to click tournament and export to SQBS. I'm not going to actually export it since we have literally 0 statistics to export. But you would go with starting round, ending round. Let's say if I'm doing prelims, I would do that, and then I would click create. And what would happen is it would form a new folder in here called fake Eagle's Nest stats, and it would contain the SQBS file that you can then upload online so that people can view the stats. So yeah, I believe that is it for setting up a tournament using TJ Sheets. And the next video, we will go over scorekeeping.